Hello everyone, let us start the today's lecture. Um, today's I am going to discuss about planar transmission line. So we already seen the property of transmission lines, and it is the simplest way to carry the microwaves and means waves at very higher frequency. So now, and a simple transmission line, it may be possibility. It is a simple two-wire copper conductor. It may work as a simple transmission lines. But now we are interested to see the planar transmission lines, and planar transmission lines are the necessities for today's microwave uh, engineering worlds, because as you know, miniaturization of uh, the devices, it is not only for the digital circuit and analog circuit. I think you know about the miniaturization means uh, we are going to compact our systems, means we are going to compact our circuits, or you can say it is a simple uh, it has been started from the uh, emerging of VLSI. So as it is applicable for the analog VLSI, digital VLSI, we are going to integrate a number of transistors and number of circuits on a single wafer in a normal frequency, means for analog devices and digital devices. Now it is also going to be applicable for the your for very high frequency for the microwave, because earlier there is a one big microwave benches for the practical, and if you see the earlier means it is 1980s 1990s, any microwave devices has a very you can say very big machines or big structures. It is going to design by the robust conductors. It will take more area. The weight is very high. So integrating this type of devices uh, in a small area is practically not possible. So researchers were very interested to find out the solution to make the microwave circuits uh, uh, in a very small area, and they are interested to fabricate the devices like your VLSI circuits. So this is called the miniaturization of circuit. So you are fortunate that miniaturization of circuit is going to be applicable for the microwave devices, and it is a very good uh, position, means you will you by yourself you can design the miniaturized circuit in your own antenna lab. So you can design the antennas, you can design the strip lines, micro strip lines. Actually uh, the planar transmission lines are going to be gradually evolved, and day by day researchers are finding some good solutions to make it if more and more efficient in a very less area, and hence broadly it is classified into four different section, and out of these four, as per your syllabus, you have to learn about the strip line and micro strip lines. So strip line is the earlier version and micro strip line is the latest version, but the application you may find for both. It is not like that micro strip lines swept out the strip lines. So, and it is planar transmission lines. It is called planar transmission lines because uh, you can fabricate these lines on a single wafer. You can fabricate on a Actually, it is a combination of your conductor as well as the dielectric, because for carrying the waves, either it is the micro waves or for the normal waves, there is a requirement of conductor, and for confining the energy within the conductor, there must be requirement of some special dielectrics. So it is a combination of dielectric and conductor, and depending on the arrangement of conductor and dielectric, the name is strip line and micro strip line. And you can also say that you have to keep some constant in your mind while designing the strip line and micro strip line for the width, thickness for the conductor, as well as the width and thickness of the dielectric. So these all are these planar transmission lines are very useful for the miniaturized microwave circuits. So when you are designing a miniaturized microwave networks for propagating the signal, you can use the planar transmission lines. So now I am going to present these two planar transmission lines, and see these planar transmission lines having a low profile and a very lightweight. So low profile means it is not very difficult to analyze. You can easily analyze the this planar transmission lines, and it is very lightweight. So and the fabrication requires only conductor and the dielectrics. So ready-made, you can buy the that is called the PCB plates for the fabrication of these strip lines and micro strip lines, on which the both layers are available. Either it is the conductor layer or it is the dielectric layer. Just by programming, you can design your strip line and micro strip line in such a way that it will fulfill the requirement and criteria prescribed by you. So now see the next I am going to present you the internal structure of strip line and micro strip line. So I'll just show the cross sectional area, and by cross sectional area you can assume that which types of strip line looks like, and micro strip lines. So there is no need to derive the formula, only you can remember the some equations for numerical point of view. Let us suppose one may ask these are the width and thickness of the dielectric and width and thickness of the conductor, then find the characteristics impedance of the particular strip line and micro strip lines. But these all formula are based on various you can say approximations. By applying approximations, we are getting the formula, and derivation of formula and approximation of formula is not required. Even remembering of formula is not required up to this time, because never examiner has asked about a numerical question of strip line and micro strip line, but you should prepare for the future. So at least know about what is the miniaturized circuit in a microwave, and then construction of strip line and micro strip lines, and then the characteristics impedance formula for the strip line and micro strip lines. And these are so robust that it can it is a very small device, but it can support your microwave up to the 30 gigahertz. So it starts from the 100 megahertz and support to the 30 gigahertz. So it will it provides a good range on the frequency for solving your miniaturized problem for connecting to microwave networks, or for inserting the transmission lines in any places at the microwave networks. Now let us see the construction of strip lines. Okay, so a number of diagrams are here, but uh, you need to concentrate on this diagram number A. So this is the your construction, or you can say the cross sectional area of strip line. So concentrate on this diagram number A and see what are these lines, and what are the these electric lines, magnetic lines, and construction of the strip line. So all are able to see the diagram number A. Okay, okay, thank you. So see, the diagram number A shows that there is a small conductor within a dielectric. The big square box is your dielectric. Means you can say that the width and height means uh, if you see the width of your dielectric is B, and this width is A, means it is the cross sectional area for the dielectric B is A cross B. So A is, you can say, B is the thickness and A is the width. We are not talking about the length, because length is inside the diagram. It is it is just one cross section area. We are looking from a let us assume it is a big rectangular type of material, and we are just looking at the particular cross section. So at a particular cross section, this B is going to be thickness of the dielectric, and A is the width of dielectric. And approximately at the center of dielectric, there is a one conductor. There is a one conductor, which again the thickness is T and the width is W. So the width of this conductor is W and thickness is T. Remember, there is a one constant, that the thickness of this center conductor should be very less than in comparison to the width. It must be fulfilled. So and so in center you can expect the one conductor. So there is only one conductor, and one dielectric is going to support your microwave frequency, but it is in the center of the dielectric. Now if you see the mode of the waves propagating through the strip lines, it is nearly TEM wave. It is not a complete TEM wave. As you know, there are three modes: transverse electric mode, transverse magnetic mode, and transverse electric magnetic mode. That is TE mode, TM mode, and TEM mode. So it is going to be support the nearly TEM mode. Why nearly? Because if you see the magnetic field, that is H, it is going to be circulating in a confinement of your dielectric. There is no problem. But if you see the electric field, it is going away from the conductor, which is the property of conductor, and in the middle of conductor it is a straight line. It is a straight line. There is no problem. If all the electric field is in the straight line, we can conclude that it is a pure TEM mode, but it is not like that. At the edges, the fringing, it is called the fringing, FRINGING. It is the fringing of uh, electric lines is going to be takes place at the corner. So the fringing is responsible to make it not a pure TEM mode. So fringing of strip lines is not good for the strip line. So we make some arrangement, not arrangement. We make we will take the some constant on the width and the thickness of your you can say dielectric in such a way that these fringing lines will carry the minimum energy. Means the fringing line, you can think about the fringing line as a losses. It is not going to be contribute the propagation of energy. So the fringe, we make an arrangement in such a way that the fringing contains the minimum energy, such that the losses is going to be minimum, and it is easy to make the arrangement. But at a corner it will take place like the fringing, and it is not a straight lines at both corners, so it is called as a, it supports nearly TEM, uh, nearly TEM modes, not a complete TEM mode. So, and the relative permittivity of the dielectric is your epsilon r. Now see, apart from the these two, apart from this one conductor, there is a one more ground plate are there. So one is a ground plate, and there is a one this upper plate. So due to this ground plate, what happens, ground plate maybe you can use ground plate as your earth or the board of your circuit, or you can insert uh, 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 you can say a different conductor for making the ground plate. But generally we use the ground plate uh, of a copper, very thin copper, and it is given with the PCB. Means when you buy a PCB for fabricating the strip line or micro strip line, there is a one ground plate available, and one conductor plates are available at the upper side, and in between there is a you can say dielectric. So the ground plates are there. However, these ground plates and the upper plates confine the energy in such a way there is no need to give the you can say side walls. So if you take the waveguide, there is a all walls. There is a side wall, ground plate, upper plate. See, both all conductors are available. But here there is a no requirement of the side wall. Your energy is going to be confined within the dielectric, and it will propagate and support the uh, your microwave frequency up to 30 gigahertz. So if you see the some theoretical parts from the book, your textbook, now see uh, miniaturization of microwave circuits has taken place through the development of planar transmission lines, which are flat, having low profile and lightweight. So these are called the these three are the properties for the planar transmission lines. And the planar transmission lines are completely characterized by its geometry, and from geometry we can find the characteristic impedance of the line by defining the line dimension in a single plane, is therefore suitable for the microwave integrated circuit. Now remember, this is the MIC circuit, microwave integrated circuit. So and the complete circuit can be fabricated in only two steps. One is called the thin film technology, and the other is called the photolithography. Means we have to just scratch the remaining conductors, and there is a after photolithography by the UV rays you can design a your strip lines. And there are four types of your these lines: strip line, micro strip lines, slot lines, and coplanar strip lines. Out of these we have to study the strip lines and micro strip lines. Now see the theory part of strip lines. Strip lines consist of central thin conducting strip of width W. I told you that W should be very greater than its thickness T, or you can say T should be very less than compared to the width W, inside a low loss dielectric. Now also remember that you should know the name of your dielectric. Yeah, the dielectric used for uh, any microwave circuit, miniaturized circuit, maybe the very famous is Teflon. The first is very famous, Teflon, Teflon. The next is polyolefin, polyolefine, polyolefine, and the third, which is least used, polystyrene. So Teflon, polystyrene, and polyolefin. These are the famous dielectric for the uh, and the properties of this dielectric for the microwave circuit is such that it confines the energy in less thickness and less width, and the fringing lines is going to be either exponentially decays within the dielectric, and or it is going to be returned. It is not going to be returned. It is exponential decays within the dielectric very fastly, such that there is a no radiation after the dielectric. If it happens there is a radiation of lines after the dielectric, your device going to be heated and it may be burn out. Now see, uh, the characteristics impedance of the symmetric strip line having zero strip thickness can be expressed as follows. So these directly equations are given for two conditions. The first condition where your W by B is less than equal to 0.5, and the second condition W by B is greater than 0.5. So it looks like very exhaustive equations uh, to remember this, but it depends on you. If examiner asks about the numerical or ask about the characteristic impedance, you must write these equations, and but up to this time they never ask the numerical based on the characteristic impedance. So you should remember or not, it depends on you, but I recommend these equations to remember for examination point of view. Now here z naught is given in the terms of k and pi, and this z naught is given in the terms of your capacitance, that is called the Cf, and this capacitance is due to the fringing lines, fringing capacitance in picofarad per meter, which arises due to the fringing electric field at the edges of the strip. Means here we assume the fringing lines. However, in previous equations we are assuming that it is a perfect your strip lines and supporting the complete TEM modes. These are some simulations results given in your book. There is no need to draw this diagram, and it is just for comparing the z naught versus W by B, means W by B versus z naught upon epsilon r, and it only shows how it behaves by changing the width and the thickness of the conductor. So there is no need to draw this diagram. After strip lines, here you can see that excitation of strip lines, how your strip lines is going to be excited. So it is very simple. For excitation of strip line, you have to take one coaxial cable, and the outer net conductor part, that is a zigzag net part, it is going to be connected with the two grounded plates, because there is two grounded plates and one your conductor parts. So when you for excitation means giving the energy at the input port. So for excitation we are going to mount the our coaxial connectors to the your strip lines. So for that, your coaxial connectors, the upper conductor part is going to be connected with the two ground plates, and the inner conductor for the coaxial cable is going to insert in the your main conductor or center conductor of the strip lines. So this is normal diagram which shows the uh, strip line excitement by a coaxial cable connectors. Now see the micro strip lines. There is a very funny difference in the strip line and micro strip lines, but your micro strip lines are now more famous compared to the strip line, because fabricating of micro strip lines are more easier compared to the strip line. Why? Because in strip line you require one conductor material inside the dielectric, at least a center of the dielectric. So inserting a conductor inside dielectric is not a easier task by normal machines. So because normal machine is only operate on the top surface of the your PCB. So in your lab you cannot design the strip line, but you can design the micro strip lines, because your complete needle is going to be work on the top surface. So from the top surface it cannot increase the width or decrease the width, or play with the thickness of your center conductor of the strip lines. But if you see the diagram of micro strip line, this is number B diagram. This number B diagram is the diagram for the micro strip lines. So your conductor is now on the top of your dielectric, and there is only one ground conductors are there. So there, it is a very simple diagram. There is a one ground conductor, one dielectric, and on the top of there is a one thickness available for the whole dielectric. And by the help of your designing machine, fabrication machine, you can cut down the other uh, uh, you can say copper, and remain the this width W. So if you compare these two, you will see that your micro strip line is more you can say uh, uh, easier to fabricate. So it is a very good invention, or you can say a magical invention in the planar transmission line, and it is a very famous strip lines, that is called micro strip line. So these all what is the problem with the micro strip lines? In micro strip lines, your fringing lines and your magnetic fields, so both are going to be away from the dielectrics, means the complete confinement of your magnetic fields and electric fields is not possible with the dielectric. However, it is not very big problem with the magnetic field, because magnetic field can be circulated in air. There is no problem. The losses is very loss. We cannot going to be count these losses, but yes, the at the edges, if there is a fringing, and fringing in such a way that it will going to be away from outside from the dielectric. So you can see these two lines here, two lines are going to be shown, shows that outside of the dielectric, and it is not only two, it is more than two, and it is up to the length L, means up to the length L there is a some electric lines are going to be outside from the dielectric, and this is a reason for the losses. Means if you compare these two, your microstrip is easier to fabricate, but the losses associated with the microstrip lines is greater compared to the strip lines. So you can see here uh, the just uh, uh, in this paragraph the construction of your microstrip lines are going to be discussed. uh, Here, due to open structure and any presence of discontinuity, the microstrip line radiates electromagnetic energy. The radiation loss is proportional to the square of the frequency. The use of thin and high dielectric materials reduces the radiation loss of the open structure where the fields are mostly confined inside the dielectric. Means to minimize the losses, you cannot neglect the losses, but to minimize the losses you can use the thin and high dielectric materials to reduce it. The thin and high dielectric materials have a very less corner. If it is thin, there is a possibility that fringing lines are mostly inside the dielectric. And if your high dielectric material means your epsilon r is going to be increased. If you have a higher epsilon r, the it will attract the you can say electric lines inside the dielectrics. So these are the construction of microstrip lines, and then again you have to go with the Z0 formula, characteristic impedance for the your microstrip lines. There is no need to remember this synthesis of microstrip lines, only go for this Z0 formula. So here the Z0 has three conditions: W by H is less than equal to 1, W by H is greater than 1, and W by H is greater than 1. This is the approximation. So the heaviest task to understand to remember the characteristic impedance for the strip line and microstrip line. Otherwise you can draw the diagram easily in your examination, and you can discuss about the construction and the modes and magnetic lines and electric lines, fringing lines, etc. You can easily discuss in your examinations. So this is all about the strip lines and microstrip lines. If you have any doubt, you can ask now. I think it is sufficient material to describe the, and you can expect at least one question either on the strip line or the micro strip line. And now I can I hope that you can easily make the diagram, the cross sectional diagram, and easily discuss the your construction as well as modes. And the in construction parts you must discuss about the TEM modes, electric lines and magnetic line. That's all. Is it clear? Okay. So thank you for today's lecture. If there is no doubt, now you can leave the class. We will meet tomorrow.